I was born in New York City in the early 60s, and I come from a family of all girls and myself. I have 6 sisters and myself. Music did not play a large element in my life at the beginning, except there was a lot of music in the house, nothing from people playing it. I moved to the West Indies when I was 8 years old, and my father had gotten me a little organ, little electric organ, to play, and that was one of the few things that actually went to the island and came back from the island. And while I didn't take any lessons on it, I was very curious about it and tried to write music, or make up songs, if you will. When I got back in the early 70s, I was introduced to music in the public schools of New York, and I started out as a bass player in the 7th grade, so in junior high school. And I had a teacher who thought I had some talent, and also was kind enough to let me take home any instrument that I wanted for the weekends. So I took home a cello, I took home a viola, I took home a violin, and I eventually kind of figured them all out. It was kind of like a language to me. So learning how to read the clefs, all those things seemed to be come very easy to me. I started taking private lessons on a regular basis beginning my sophomore year in high school, and I started studying at the Manhattan School of Music Prep division. I studied with Sally O'Reilly there for 3 years and did a lot of theory and a lot of ear training, orchestra and chamber music, all those things that I think were very formative for me as a player, and it kind of helped me make up my mind what it was that I wanted to do with my career moving forward. Although my parents wanted me to become a lawyer or a biologist, those were the 2 other things that I had an interest in doing. And I went on to the Eastman School of Music, where I studied with Heidi Castleman and Francis Tercy. I did a number of summer programs. I feel very blessed that I had teachers who cared about me and who I wanted to work for and were interested in my success. And that came not on cement. It came rather early at the age of, just over the age of 21, I joined the San Francisco Symphony. And then the following year, I joined the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. And I was with the San Francisco Symphony for 11 years. I only stayed in New York for 1 year. It just wasn't a good fit for me at that time. It was a great orchestra, it just wasn't a good fit. And then I stayed in San Francisco and got married in San Francisco. And then when we thought about having a family, the cost of living was a little outrageous. It still is rather outrageous in the Bay Area. And so we started looking for other possibilities, and a position came open for principal viola of the Colorado Symphony, and I was lucky enough to win that position in 1993. And I moved here in 1993, and we've sort of set up shop, and we've been here since. I left for 1 year from 1994 to 1995, and when I returned in 1995, I got a call from the chairman of the string department here at Lamont, asking if I might have an interest in teaching at the School of Music. So I came and I had a brief audition and gave a master class, and I've been teaching here ever since. My students often describe me as tough but a teddy bear. And I suppose that's accurate. I expect my students to work for me. I understand that each student is different and how they learn is different. And so I do my very best to work with each student in a unique way to show them avenues that will help them become better, both instrumentalists and artist musicians during their time with me here at Lamont. This year at the School of Music, we have 8 violists, 4 are undergraduate majors. We have 1 Bachelor of Arts major, and we have 3 graduate performance majors. we spend a lot of time on stage. You spend a lot of time, in the case of being a violist, you spend a lot of time with the instrument under your chin and the bow on the string. You'll have one lesson a week with me. If you are a first or second year player, you will have an additional half-hour lesson with my graduate teaching assistant, and he or she will work with you on technical studies, scale work, that kind of stuff. And then we'll have a studio class once a week. It's generally on Friday afternoons. And you'll have opportunities to play. I think one of the most important things that any aspiring instrumentalist or singer, musician can do is spend a lot of time on stage, having a lot of opportunities to find out what works, what doesn't work, to get nervous, to make mistakes, because we all do that. Mistakes are very common. That's part of live music, and having an opportunity to rectify those things in a performance arena, I think, is an important aspect of what we do at the Lamont School of Music. You'll have chamber music. Once a week you'll be coached. We expect that you're going to have rehearsals for at least 2 to 4 hours a week. You'll have orchestra twice a week. You'll have string performance class once a week, where you have to play once a quarter, so you'll play 3 times a year at a minimum. And then you'll have chamber music performance class as well. So hopefully you're getting the idea that you're going to be playing quite a bit. And this does not count all the performances that you'll be a part of while you're at our school. Well, Lamont is a great school, not just for viola specifically, but I'd like to think that I have a good crop of students that have come through and that continue to come to the School of Music. We live in one of the great cities of our country, one of the most beautiful places that's full of art and culture and food and sports. There are so many different things that happen here in Denver. And the University of Denver, the Lamont School of Music, has definitely become a destination for aspiring young musicians. So we hope that you'll join us at our wonderful school.